Hi and welcome to the last and final video of the Drawing Batgirl series of videos. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So in this video, what I'm going to end up doing is I am going to attempt to fix what I don't like about this Batgirl drawing based off of actually some critique from my personal mentor. And he pointed some things out. I'm going to point them out to you too. And I'm going to go over everything that I'm going to attempt to fix. So there are some things in this drawing that are not correct. So for example, what am I talking about? What am I going to fix and how am I going to fix it? Well, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to try to make this feel a little bit more concave. And so the problem, and I talked about this in the previous video, the problem is that both concave and convex drawings or objects, when they are lit exactly the same. You can't tell the difference between a convex and a concave just on just viewing them. Let's say like concave and convex. If you were to not see this and that, you wouldn't be able to tell which direction it's going if you didn't see this part here. And this is what's going on in this drawing. You just kind of can't see, and it's kind of getting in the way. The way that I have the cape and all this, it's really kind of messed up. And I think that well, I'll talk about it in a second. And the other thing is that the cape isn't quite working in another way, and apparently, as my friend pointed out, this area here of the cape is not quite working the way it ought. So he didn't really critique anything about the tonal of the that I talked about. That's just a personal thing for me. The thing that he did say though, and this is something that it was just a brain fart on my part. I don't know what I was thinking, and I just wasn't thinking, is this. Take a look at this cape. This line here splits these two parts of the cape. So there would be a line here that would split these two parts of the cape, which would be a line here that would split these two parts of the cape. But notice the lines here. They don't split right here, they split down here. So one of the things my friend said was, you've got two different capes on this Batgirl. And I'm like, ooh, you are right. So actually the cape that I wanted to do is this one, not this one. So let's start fixing this drawing. So this is going to be tough because I get a bazillion layers here. Man, what a mess. Okay, let's start with at least they were labeled, most of them. Okay. Do I have one that is just called line? I have one that's called black. I have two that are called line. One that's called line. What is this one? Oh, this one is for... Okay, so this is the line layer. So this is what I need. Oh. This is just the line layer for the hair. Okay, so that's not helpful. This is a different line layer. Wow. What happened to my ink line? Is it missing? There is nothing in here that says that there is an ink line. Bounce like palette. Oh, Oh, yeah, I forgot. So there's another line. There's another line layer here. This is self-ink line. I should have been clear. So I'm gonna rewrite it. Called self-ink line, and I'm gonna turn that off, which turns off this little blue little things going on here. Okay, and now when I turn off this line layer, all the lines turn off. Okay, so I'm gonna click on line 2, and it should probably just be called line. And this is, instead of layer 8, I'll call it hair. What? Hair texture, I guess. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these 2 lines here. Do I have a hard line? Okay, yeah. These 2. Why isn't it deleted? Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong layer. Doy. Okay. Gone. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have to delete these 2. But before I do, I'm going to take the entire drawing, and I am going to reduce the opacity. I'm going to create a brand new line layer, and I'm going to redraw. Get my rough draw pencil. It's already there. I'm going to get my red pencil, and I'm going to draw the correct thing. So the first thing I got to do is I got to make sure that that's wrong already. I'm already messing up. Okay, so let's assume that there's the cape goes down here and it comes up and around like that. And then I'm gonna and this is part of the problem, I think. The line shouldn't do, the cape shouldn't be doing that. It should be doing this. Like that. So that's wrong because I want the cape to have this shape, so maybe it's like this. So it's doing this, and then it's doing that. So let's have it do this. And this is the I want the tips to be the bottom. See, this is it's already messed up. How do I do this so that I can see what I'm doing? Change canvas size. And the change canvas size thing comes up on my other screen. I'm going to increase it from this no, not the canvas. Well, yeah, the canvas. I was right. Canvas size, yes. Not centimeters, inches. I could understand what I'm doing. I'm going to increase. So I'm going to make a note that the canvas size is what it is, which is why I have these post-its. 5.54.50. Okay, so I could return it back to normal when I'm done. And now I'm going to double it. 10, 8. Okay, so that will help me solve this problem. So the cape is doing, so I'm going to not have, what I'm not going to do right now is I'm not going to have the pointy stuff. This is the bottom. Apparently this is the bottom. And so this is the bottom, and it curls around. This is the bottom, and it curls around. Okay, so this is why it's not working. No, gotta be consistent. Gotta make it work. Has to be logical. Okay, here we go. So this is what was wrong. I'm not following through with these shapes the way I ought. Okay, so that means that this goes down here. Oh man, that kind of messes up kind of what I kind of wanted to do, doesn't it? But it is consistent. So part of the problem with this drawing in and of itself is the composition, and the fact that, so because I was doing this as a postcard, and I don't know if I have a copy or the size. Okay, so I have, it's kind of this size. This is not exactly, it's a little bit smaller than this. So because the size of the postcard, when I draw the final version by hand and ink it, it becomes small, like infinitely zoomable. You know, that's the digital is infinitely zoomable. I could zoom in and out, but when I'm drawing it on this piece of paper, not so much. So I needed to make her big in the frame, and what ended up happening was that because she needed to be big, I needed to blow her up, and so I cropped out all her body, like her body dynamism is gone. Like you don't see where her hand is planted. You don't see that she's jumping over or you know, something. She's vaulting over something. You just don't see that because she's all cropped. And so you're kind of losing some of the dynamism because I cropped out everything and just zoomed into so that I could at least draw her face and see some of the detail on her face. which is why you will see me from now on not doing postcards with a lot of action in the poses, because when the pose is something like this, and this is what I learned from doing this postcard, when an action is this dynamic, you want to see it, you want to give it room to breathe, and by cropping it up, you don't see it. So it's better just to have a little bit more of a pin-up, standing, looking tough, maybe, or looking cute pose, but not dynamic action pose, unless it's like a punch or something that doesn't require the entire body to be clear or what it's doing. So from now on, that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so now I've got this worked out, and so I guess, and this is the kind, this, oh. So I'm going to assume that there's one in here too. So this is the, oh, so I guess this is not, it's not what I thought. This is the type of cape I wanted to do, but I think in order to get what I want, it's going to be a happy medium between this one and it still has to follow this arc, and then this one, so I guess that one's not going to appear there, and then I'm going to assume that this is pointy and it goes up here, or it goes up here, I guess, and then this does that. And then there's one down here. Maybe one down. No, that's wrong. Then there's this. Then there's one. This points that way. This points that way. This comes up this way. So there's one here. And maybe there's one here, maybe? Which means this is not right. This is not right. So then there's probably one right here. Right here. Which mean that this is like that. Man, this is a mess. You can't see anything. This is what I get for faking the cape. They're not really working it out. Hey, I was pretty close. At least on that side. Okay. Let's just do that. I can't see it. Oh, it's because the yeah, it'll have to do. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this in here underneath that layer so that I could ink it. Wow. That changes a lot of things, doesn't it? Okay. So, let's see what happens if I go back and go back to the original canvas size. I already worked everything out. So I remember I doubled it. So 5, 4. There we go. We're back to the original. Okay. But I can't. I really can't see. I'm going to undo that. It's just easier for me to see it this way. All right. So, okay. It's time to start deleting. This is deleted, this is deleted. This. Okay. I am going to see about... Oh, no. The black. Okay. That's very helpful. Now that the black is gone. This is deleted. Okay. First I'm going to go back to the Milli pen that I used. Oops. Oh, that's interesting. Why is the pen is in the wrong? Okay, what? I forgot what size my pen was. I think it was not that. I think it was 10. I'm using a different computer than I was when I was than the one that I used to draw this. So some of the things are a little bit different in this version of the program because I don't quite have both versions of the program perfectly lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that this is visible. But it isn't. It won't be visible. You could see that it's outside of the... But it's still helpful. This is a bit of a tangent. There's a tangent is when a bunch of lines line up together. A tangent is something that looks like this. And say that one of these is supposed to be in front of the other and you just can't tell because everything is kind of merging into this kind of a weird... And that's what's going on here. So I'm going to have to make some artistic choices here. And now this is part of that. Okay. This area could get extremely messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that this line here maybe here. Oh, I don't like it. I may have to do this, which would mean that this would be an outline. Oops. Oops. Okay. That seems about right. Then this. Then here. Then this exterior. Boom. Boom. Kind of off here, but hey, nobody's seeing it. All right. And, well, you're seeing it, but it'll be our secret. Then go in and fix that. So I just switched pens to my G pen. Oops. That's what I get for not rotating. Okay. Better. And rotate again. Okay. There. So that is our new cape shape. What I need to do, and just because, even though it's not visible, and I screwed up again because I didn't rotate it. It has to go with the natural pivot of my hand, and it just works so much better when I just go natural. Go with the natural pivot of my hand. Okay, so there, that's good. Great. Okay, so the next thing I got to do, next thing I'm doing is I'm going to get rid of this. I'll just call this rough cape fix. I really should probably delete it, but I'm lazy. Okay, so black. Okay, I'm gonna, it's already got the little lighthouse on it, which means that it's going to treat it as the layer that I'm coloring on. So let me turn on black again. Okay, the only problem, of course, now is that this black is in the wrong spot. So now I gotta decide, I'm going to reduce the opacity here of the black. I'm going to reduce the opacity on the black layer. Better. And I'm going to delete I'm going to select this black here. Let's see what happens. and delete it. And select this black and delete it. And it worked. That's what I wanted. Okay. All right, and then now what I've got to do is I got to fill in the color. So this flat color. So I'm going to turn off the tone layer. I'm going to sample the tone layer. And I'm going to add to it. Okay. And there's an area here that needs fixing. Oops, too much. What's going on here? Okay, I must have messed up somewhere. It might not be the right flat that I sampled. So, oh, it isn't, because I reduced this 90%. Do you see that? 90? 100%. So I'm going to have to remember to reduce it back to 90%. The reason I did that was because, and by the way, I never showed that in a previous video. I did that like off video. I thought it was too dark. The cape was too dark, so I reduced it, so I took it out. Shocking, I know. I totally did something that you guys didn't see. Okay, 90%. Let's go back to 90%. So the entire flat layer I had reduced 90% so that it wasn't as bright. So now I'm going to delete the stuff that is outside the lines. So handy this. I just clicked on this empty space there, and that helped a lot. And oh, look at that ugly line right there. So let's get rid of it. Boop. Boop. Oh, I love Manga Studio for that. All right. Even though no one's going to see that. All right. And that really kind of fixes that. Okay, so the cape is fixed. Now, I gotta make some adjustments on the color. And to be honest, I don't really know where I should go here. The first thing I want to do is find a layer that says reflective light so I could get rid of this extra blue bit. Bounce light, here we are. There's some there's some residue of color in here. Gotta get rid of that. There's a weird thing going on here. Oops. Whoops. What's going on here? Oh, I'm on eraser. Okay. This is what? What is this? What layer would that be on? I believe it might be under tone. But tone is not even on. Ooh, tone is not even on. That means that when I do turn it on, it's gonna be a mess. So I'm thinking this is reflective light or bounce light. No, it must be light. No? What is it? Lighter tone? Oh, it's lighter tone. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I mean by lighter tone. Oh, lighter tone. This is the color of the flat as it lightens. Okay. Boy, I'm afraid to turn on the tonal pass. Shadow. Where's my shadows? Oh, of course, here. It's the mask. So this is where it becomes tricky. Okay, so the cast shadow on the cape needs to fall the way I originally had it. It's in a different spot now, so it still needs to do this. I'm trying to imagine in my head what it's doing, so maybe I shouldn't try to imagine it in my head. Maybe I should just friggin' draw it so that it so I could understand it, because sometimes it's really hard to pre-visualize things, and that is why sketching is handy. I'm not the best pre-visualizer. I have a tough time pre-visualizing. I got to practice that a little bit more, but still, it's not absolutely mandatory. Some people just love to do that. Very good at doing that. Okay, so what I mean by drawing, what I want to do with this is see, because right now I'm trying to think, what do I actually want to do with this? I'm having a difficult time even conceptualizing it. So let me see. I kind of like this, and it seems like there's a corner here. I'm gonna draw again outside of this, we'll create a new, and I'm going to see something. Okay, so do I want it to, in other words, do I want this to be what's happening? Or do I want this? Like this is the high point and this is the low point. Wow, this would be weird. Is that what I want? Yeah, that's what I've been wanting. It's just concave this way. Okay. So the point is that we're looking down. Do you see what I'm doing? Because it could go the other way because of optics. It's kind of bizarre. See, even drawing lines makes it's bizarre. Okay, because the optics, it's weird. Like I'm drawing a concave, but it looks convex, like we're looking up at it in convex. It's bizarre. Okay, so the only way to make it, define it as this. Oh my gosh. Now it's tripping me out. I'm looking down now the lines are just switching back and forth. This is such a weird optical thing. Okay. Okay, so that's my intent. Even though even right now it's freaking me out and it's making me see this in all kinds of weird, bizarre ways. Okay, so I put back the tone, and now I gotta delete a lot of this tone that no longer is necessary. Okay. All right. I added the tone. Of course. Now I see. Okay. So this is what I've been doing wrong. I think this is how it's supposed to work. I think this is going to work. This side will be dark and going into the light. I think that's how it would work. So, let me reduce this, or just plain turn it off. Oh, wait. No. I do have a palette. Where's my palette? Please tell me that I have in the palette, there is a shadow version. Ooh, there isn't. I created the palette before I did the shadow. Okay, that's just fantastic. And on top of that, the shadows are at 62%. So let me write that down. Tone, 62% opacity, which means that they were actually way darker, and I lightened them up. That is how dark they used to be. So I'm going to create, I think this is this, if this is the darkest they get. Yeah. Then I am going to create, let me see something. Oops. Oh, I'm on erase. Go to pencil, colored pencil. Why isn't it? Oh, because it's, all right. Okay. Right now it's locked. It's okay. Now I'm going to go into my palette. I'm going to create a palette. A little sample. And I'm going to unlock the tonal layer. And I am going to, whoa, just realized that there's tone kind of hanging out here. Good sloppy job of deleting it. Okay. Eesh, it's the wrong pen. There. Oh, probably would be a good idea to do a selection. To do my, so I have my little selection layer here. Ooh, whoops. The selection layer no longer selects exactly what I did last time. Okay, that's okay. I will modify the selection layer so that it works to the new thing. There we go. And now I can select the gray. That's not what I intended. And now I will select the gray. Let me get rid of the ants. All right. Drawing is problem solving. There's always finding yourself in some kind of problem, and then you're always trying to fix it. the light layer is throwing me off. The light and lighter tone layers are throwing me off. Oops. Actually, I kind of want that though. So I'm just adding tone on one side and not both. And I'm hoping that that's going to do the trick. Oh no. I just totally screwed up. Okay. I wasn't paying attention, but I was putting tone right over the arm, the hand there, and I didn't mean to do that. The arm. It was growing. No, I want to shrink it. No, I don't want to do that. That's ugly. All right. Let me delete. Some of that. Oh no. Okay. Going back and forth with the kind of delete the eraser tool, kind of the not opaque, the colorless tool over here in the bottom, which deletes with the same texture of the tool I'm using. I think I messed up again because the light should be... My goodness. The light is coming from that. Why would the shadow be on the left, on the right, if the light, if all the shadows are falling on the left? This is more accurate. In fact, this is even more accurate. So I gotta really do that. So I picked the wrong. This is okay here, but not over here. So this is just this is drawing, everybody. You mess up and you do it until you get it right. Turn that off. So I can see what I'm doing better. This is inconsistent here. Oops. Oops. Keep pressing the wrong button. I was trying to reduce the pencil tool here, the size of the pencil tool, and I actually pressed the wrong button and changed it to a different tool altogether. Don't want to do that. No, I want it lighter. I want to delete some of this. I want to go all the way to the edges here. And then reduce some of this. forth here. Yeah, it still looks convex, doesn't it? So it still looks convex. Well, it might be the cast shadows. It might be the cast shadows. I think I may do a little trick. So I think the shadows would still be about right the way I've got them. Let me add some of this light. Where's the light layer? Lighter layer. Lighter tone layer, which is, I believe it's this one, maybe. Oh, and I gotta reduce this tone layer back to, what was it, 62. This lighter tone is 100%, so that's okay. And it's all wrong. Well, actually, let me, some of it is okay. It's the stuff on this side that's not. Let me just add some of that in back in. Like that. And yes, you notice that it's still looking convex. Light. Okay, so what I'm thinking, and after this I'll just give in and go, okay, well, I don't know how to make it look more convex. Is what I'm thinking is that let me turn off this palette, it's getting in the way. Is that my cast shadows and the shadows that are landing on these areas should describe the form better. So let me turn back on what I want it to actually look like. And I'm curious, how can I describe that with the shadow, with the cast shadows? Maybe the cast shadows will do what I want them to do. So for example, what if I was to do this? And I did this in a previous video and it didn't work. Maybe it may work this time because now circumstances have changed. still don't. Okay. I mean, I've checked this over and over and over, and I did do this cast shadow correctly the first time. What I didn't do is describe the form here. This cast shadow should describe this area as doing this. Oh, this mono pen doesn't have, oh, no wonder. This mono pen, I usually have my mono pen set so that it changes that it goes thick and thin. You know what? I just realized I have another pen called Monofill Brush that does what I wanted it to do, and I already worked it out. So I'm such an idiot. I already did this a long time ago. Just, like I said, I haven't been working on this for so long. In this. Computer. I tend to do most of my work on my laptop. Okay. I'm not sure if it's working. I'm not sure if it's doing what I want it to do. Oops, I forgot to add tone on that one, in that layer. Oh wait, I don't need to do that. Got a palette. Oh, I see. Whoops. Once again, it's not selected. Okay. Back to this. Oh no, that's why. Of course, I was right the first time. Oh. This is why it's not working. What a mess I'm making. Alright, so if the light's coming from this side, it's coming from up here, and the light is shining. Okay. If the light is shining, if it's coming from here and it's coming in this direction, and the well, let me show it this way. If we have an object in space, if we have a cylinder like this, and the light is coming from here, like it is kind of in this case, then the shadow would be here. But if it's a concave object, and the light is coming from here, then the light would hit here, and this would be in shadow. I've got the shadows in the wrong line, in the wrong side. Okay. Some of you may have noticed that from the start. I just liked the way it looked. Oops. Right about here in this area. I liked it so much that it messed me up. I'm gonna have to fix this. I have to figure out how to do that. Alright.
I'm gonna take a quick nap and then I'm gonna get dinner started.
Okay, I am recording right now.
Oh, you're recording right now?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just interrupt?
Yep.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
That's my wife. Okay. Gotta get this out of the way. This is really, really tedious and annoying.
My apologies.
Okay. Hang it. How many times can I mess this up? Alright, let me try this again. So part of the problem, I think, is this area right here. Now, how does a pointy thing look when it's convex? Oh. I just dropped it and it fell in a little... okay, try it again. Keep dropping it. I see, okay. So that means that, where's my stylus? Ooh, whoa, what's going on? What did I just do? Oh. Accidentally switched layers. So this is a little bit of what happens. Okay. 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 Gotta do this a little bit. Finally, this one. Okay. What's wrong? Okay, and then lighter tone. Gotta be the opposite. Oh, crud. Wrong layer. That palette's in the way. Oops. And the reason I concluded what I did when I was doing the cast shadow thing is because I wanted to do this. Very light cast shadow right here on all of these. And didn't make any sense if the light was on the wrong side. Again, this is not quite, I'm not quite sure where to. Going back and forth with the eraser and the pen tool here. This is extremely annoying. What a mess I've made. Okay. Shadows are terrible. This shape still doesn't look right to me. This looks right to me. Yeah. It's the wrong tool. Okay, so the only thing I gotta do is fix this tiny little, well, not so tiny, there's a bit of a mess here. Oh, it's gone. Remember there was a little bit of a weird overlap here, but it's gone. You can't really see it anymore. Okay. It's there, but I just saw it, but it's not that big a deal. Okay, and I think that's it. At least I don't want to do any more. I've been going over this thing, adjusting, readjusting, and it should just be done. It's just that I wasn't going to be satisfied. Not really. Unless I, you know. Got it working at some level of satisfaction. I just didn't want to look at it and go, I know what's wrong, I know what's wrong, I need to fix it. So I think that's it. I'm gonna unselect it, that stuff, and save it. I've saved it like 3 or 4 times since I've just been talking. Turn these things back on. Now there's more room for them. And there we go, I save it again for the 100th time. Alright. So, ooh, almost forgot. Turn back the self-ink line. Oh no! That's okay. Easily fixed. Deleted. There you go. Ooh. Where's the spot? All right, so save it like 121st time, and that's it. So I am done with it. Thank you for watching me completely screw up this drawing, and try to fix it and work my way through it. Drawing is a struggle, so it happens, you know. There's just stuff. There's always something, like right here. There's always something that you can be fixing. You could be adjusting. At some point, you got to tell yourself you're done. And I keep telling myself I'm done, but I just keep going back to it. But this really is done. If this has been useful and handy to you, then I highly encourage you to go over to my Patreon. The link is in the bottom, is on the bottom there, on the bottom of this video, and then you can go to it if you want to support me. But it's not just supporting me. You also get all kinds of goodies, like desktop wallpapers. You're gonna get this JPEG, high-res JPEG of this drawing, as well as the PSD file of this drawing. And every month I do a giveaway of a postcard that is a hand-drawn postcard, so it's an original piece. This postcard, this drawing was meant as the color comp for that original piece postcard that I actually did send out to a patron. So if you want to get in on that, then just become a patron. Every patron is entered to win, and that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.